Next topic is type of function call. It means the ways by which we can call a function. There are two methods or two types. First one is call by value method and second one is call by reference method. In both these two methods we use two type of arguments or parameters. First is actual parameters and formal parameters. As we have discussed before in the definition of function, actual parameters are what? Where the parameters that appear in function calls, and the formal parameters are that appear in function declaration. It means whenever we are declaring a function and I'm defining any variable there, then I will call them as formal parameter. And when from main function I'm calling a defined function or a declared function and I'm using variables there, then I will call them a actual parameters. Clear? So first, what does the call by value method say? In this method, the parameters are copied to formal parameters, or we can say that actual arguments are copied to the formal arguments, so that any operation performed by function on arguments doesn't affect actual parameters. And this method is also known as default way of calling a function. Whenever you called a function with the help of call by value, it doesn't affect the value of actual parameters. Clear? Just opposite to this, call by reference method. What does it say? In this method, we do not call value. In this method, address of actual argument is passed, not actual arguments. What we are passing here, the address of actual arguments is passed to the formal parameters, which means whenever any operation performed on formal parameters, it will affect the value of actual parameters. Actual parameters are what we defined in main function, and formal parameters we define in the function, or we can say that function declaration. So here is the example of function call by value. Look at the example. I have used a function increment. To give this increment, I have used a variable int type of var. What I have defined in this function, that var is equal to var plus 1. Plus 1 is what? It defining increment, and the value is returning with the help of or with the variable var, which is also a int type. So this is the function that I have defined. It's a very small program to understand. Then I have started the main function, in which I have passed actual parameter n1, n2. n1 is defined by some value, and n2 is calling function increment, in which I am passing the formal, or we can say that value of actual parameter n1. n1 is what? That I have defined in this main function. And if I will call the increment function for n2, what it will do? It will go to the function and will apply this increment to the var and will return that value to n1. Clear? So just print the value of n1 and n2, which is definitely after increment. So what will the output? If n1 value is 20, then what would be the value of n2? This will 20 plus 1 is equal to 21. So what we have done here, we just passed the variable n1 while calling the method by using call by value. So only the value of n1 is copied to formal parameter, and we have not any changed, or it doesn't affect the value of n1. Clear?